So, why do you want to study architecture in this university?
I would like to study architecture in this university because it's something that I really enjoy doing. Usually, interviews to get into an architecture course in university are taking place from most universities out there to understand their candidates' passion for architecture and if they are the right suit for this course and this university. However, because of a lot of stress and fear in most cases, it can become really difficult to share your passion for architecture and to smoothly present your portfolio during your interview. Okay, sorry guys, you're probably hearing a different kind of sound right now because I forgot to pop the microphone in the last footage. But yeah, whatever. Hi everyone, it's Taki here. I'm currently studying architecture in London, and today I'll share with you my top tips on how you can smash your architecture interview for your university application so that hopefully you'll not have any embarrassing moment during your interview. Make sure to stick till then because I'll share also a question that comes up in every single interview in every single university. Okay, tip number one is that practice your interview before. Try to practice with your friends, your family members, and also your teachers. Try to go over your portfolio and explaining them your projects, your ideas while going over your portfolio, for example. And also try to get like some feedbacks if it's possible so that you can improve. And practicing interviews will give you like a really good preparation. I myself, I practiced so much before my interview at UCL and also at my interview at UAL, which unfortunately was cancelled because of the coronavirus situation, but yeah, it really helped me a lot. So yeah, make sure to practice your interview. Okay, tip number two is that try to research as much as possible on the universities that you apply to, and also try to reach out to any students that if you can ask them like any advice for your the interview, because usually most universities they'll have like most of them they're like really similar, but some of them they have like different approaches to it. For example, I know that the University of the Arts London at Central St. Mines they have a really different approach to their interview compared to like some other universities. They usually ask you to leave your portfolio, and they'll go over your portfolio like while like you are outside of the room, and then they'll ask you to come in, and they'll tell you to just choose one specific project from your portfolio and just explain it to them. So yeah, try to like practice, as I said in my previous tip, your interview, and obviously try to like go over like in that scenario. For example, if your interviewer asked you like, oh, can you leave the room and come back in like 2 minutes, while they go over your portfolio, and then when you come back they tell you to just choose one single project and explain me this project. Try to practice it beforehand so that you are sure about the project that you can choose in that case. Tip number three is that write down any possible question in a piece of paper or in a Word document. Like just brainstorm all the questions that they might ask you. For example, write down why do you want to study architecture, or questions such as why do you want to come to these universities, so that you'll have enough time to hopefully think about these questions and really craft a really good response, and try to like not memorize it word by word, but like be confident on it. If they ask you these type of questions, try to like write down as many possible questions as possible, like the possible questions that might come up. I myself, I wrote down like probably like around 10 to 15 questions, like, oh, why do you want to study architecture, and try to find the response to it. And also ask your like any friends or like any teachers like to ask you those type of questions so that you can practice it. Tip number four, try to write down in a piece of paper or in a Word document your 5 strengths and your 5 weaknesses, or like your 3 strengths and your 3 weaknesses. And that's more a way to get yourself more confident like with yourself, so that in any case if you're in your interview they ask you these type of questions, you'll hopefully be able to answer them. And it's for me it was more like a way to like
gain myself to know myself much better, and it's something that, yeah, to me it helped me, and I recommend you to do it as well. It's not sure that they will ask you this type of questions, but it's just, you know, to really understand yourself much better, why you're really good at and why you're not that good at, that you can improve. Tip number 5 is that try to treat them more like a opportunity to kind of show off. I mean, that's not the best word, but yeah, kind of like, I don't know, just show your abilities through your portfolio, show your passion for architecture in your interview. And it's more like a discussion. It's just more like a casual conversation in my from my experience. I've done like mock interviews, also in my interview at UCL, and yeah, it's a really good opportunity. Like, I know that it can be really scary, and really stressful as well, but obviously I'm not telling you to not be scared or stressed, because otherwise you'll probably not take it that seriously. But just try to like see it more as an opportunity to really show yourself, like to really show your passion for this course, to show all your abilities through your portfolio. Tip number 6, which is the last tip, is there is always a question that comes up in every single interview, in every single universities that they do interviews, and it's really simple. Is at the end they will ask you, have you got any question for us? In that moment, in that case, you should never say no. Always ask them a question, and try to plan out, not try to like just plan out this question before your interview. Like, if they ask you, like, they'll always ask you, have you got any question for us? Try to plan out, like, come up with questions to ask them, like not like a bunch of questions, but like just craft a really good question to ask them. And that's because you'll show to the interviewer usually that if you ask them like a really good question, oh, that's a really good candidate. Obviously try to avoid asking them questions such as, oh, is there any trip in the course, or like, will we have any abroad, because in that moment I was told in one of the courses that I've done with the Central St. Mines from one of the tutors that, or if I get asked this question, like, it'll make me feel like, oh, you even haven't started this course yet and you already want to like leave me alone and stuff like that. But yeah, try to like really craft a really good question to ask them that hopefully will really push them to talk and answer it for like minutes, instead of like answering it in just like 2 words or like 5 seconds. Me, for example, when I did my interview at UCL, which alhamdulillah I got the place in, and I asked them how they push their students to think creatively and outside of the box, because I wanted to go into a university that really, you know, pushes myself to think in ways that usually I wouldn't, like think really creatively, think really outside of the box. And I feel like it was a good question. Alhamdulillah, the guy like spent like probably 3-4 minutes to answer it. And yeah, try to like really come up with a really good question. Obviously try to come up with a really good question, like a question that also like it's not just really good but also interesting, and that you are interested on it, not just asking it because to make yourself like, oh look, I'm a really good candidate, I can really ask my question, like I can really make up really good questions. Like also like something that you're really interested in, but yeah, it's a question that will push them to speak a lot.
So, why do you want to study architecture in this university?
I would like to study architecture. I've got multiple reasons for it. Firstly, is because I really love the idea of solving problems by using creative solutions.
If you made it so far, guys, thank you very much for watching, and obviously as always don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and also click the notification bell, because I'll be releasing so many other videos on sharing my tips to get into an architecture school or an architecture course, and my experience as an architecture student here in London. So if you have any other question, I said this word so many times today, but yeah, if you have any questions, leave a comment down below and I'll obviously answer it. I hope this video helped you and gave you some good advice, hopefully, to prepare for your interview for your architecture course. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.